Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Top Rope Podcast. Yeah, it's our WWE Backlash predictions. Also going to do another men's and women's top 25 for you. May touch on some other subjects as well. We shall see. So we're in Lyon, France. Another odd start time. I'm not even sure when it starts, to be totally honest with you, because I'll be watching, as I always do, after getting off work, late at night. It's usually about 12 o'clock my time by the time we get rolling around being able to watch these pay-per-views. And it's just unfortunate since switching over to the Peacock, the old Peacock, that you can't just pick up in the middle of the show and watch it there. You got to wait till it ends, and then usually like an hour after, because you got to go through the press conference and everything. Anybody else run into that problem? Are you all just so lucky and fortunate and blessed that you get to see it live? Well, I guess at least I won't have to wait this time. So I believe it's earlier on during the day, so be able to pop that bad boy on right as soon as I get the chance to do so. I'm doing a review grades show as well. Hope to get that out for you sometime Sunday or Monday. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. We'll see how it goes in France. I assume they're going to be at some kind of bigger stadium. I'm not sure, to be totally honest with you. Maybe I should have did a little more research before I got on here, but I did not. But you know what? Even if it's not, even if it's in an arena, it's still very interesting going overseas. I do like the fact that WWE has ventured out a little bit more. I'm sure everybody watching the States is like, no, we want to see all the pay-per-views here. We want to get a chance to go. Gives us a chance to go to more of them if they're here. Hell yeah, I mean, I get that. But we got a lot of people overseas watching as well. And, those places and countries don't get a lot of shows. So I get it. I think it's personally kind of cool, especially all the shots they show of the different places, places we don't get to see necessarily very often. So WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. They're booking this first time ever matchup. That's very intriguing that these two have never crossed paths. I mean, I would have thought maybe it's the first time ever in WWE. I would have thought, wasn't, I don't know, when AJ... I guess when AJ was around doing the independents, Cody was still in WWE. And then whenever AJ, came to WWE, Cody ventured out on his own there in the independents and, of course, to AEW. And, they just never have crossed paths. So I think that's the main selling point to me in this match, because there's no way in hell that Cody Rhodes is losing in his first title defense. So very predictable, yes, but we talk about predictable isn't necessarily always a bad thing. I mean, come on, it's pro wrestling. A lot of times it is predictable. To me, it's at its best when it's not predictable. But this is one of those matches. It should be a very, very good match. I am excited about it, but knowing that Cody Rhodes is 99.9999999% chance of going to win this match, it does take my excitement level down a little bit, but like I said, first time ever, that takes it back up. So knowing that Cody's going to win, that would dip it down to about a 5 or a 6, but first time matchup, that dips it back up there. So I'm sitting at about a 7 for my excitement level for this matchup. And I mean, it's been predictable all along, whenever AJ Styles is taking on LA Knight for that #1 contendership in a rematch from their WrestleMania match. I mean, you just figured it wasn't going to be LA Knight. Don't want to do a face versus face, but It's also kind of interesting how they shook hands in that contract signing. AJ Styles supposed to be a bad guy here, but this has been kind of a little bit built on respect. Now, maybe will we see some disrespect on the Go Home SmackDown on Friday? That is quite possible, for sure. Another interesting note, we had been seeing them, I think, record basically 2 episodes of SmackDown in one. Every time they do a show overseas, they go ahead and do a 2-for-1. Obviously, then they play that second SmackDown that they did for that crowd. They play that as the Go Home show. Well, this time, it's not going to be live for us here in the States, but it will be in France. So we get a little preview of Backlash and how that's going to look. I assume, again, that's at the same arena or stadium. SmackDown will be, I don't know. And then again, maybe not. We see them, at WrestleMania week. They do WrestleMania at the big stadium, and then the Raw after WrestleMania, or the SmackDown before at one of the smaller arenas. So yeah, I'm not really sure what they're doing there, but interesting to see. Definitely looking forward to that matchup. Another first-time title defense, World Heavyweight Championship, is on the line between Damian Priest and Jey Uso. And I have absolutely been yeeting all over myself with this run that Jey Uso's gone on as a single star. This has been going on for months and months and months now. Got the big win over his brother at WrestleMania. And then Jey won the Fatal 4-Way to become the number 1 contender in another one of those situations. Damian Priest, he's going to win. When, if ever, on WWE TV or pay-per-view has the champion lost in their first title defense? I can't think of one single time. If you guys can, please, by all means, let me know in the comments. It just does not happen. And Damian Priest, the only way, and heck, he's got a shot at losing this thing is if, we're not going to see any more dissension, though, between the Judgment Day, between now and Backlash, because that was they're on Raw, so we only got SmackDown to go. So no, maybe have we had enough dissension where then the Judgment Day could screw over Jey Uso, cost him the world title? Maybe, but I doubt it. I think Damian Priest definitely retains in this one, considering they didn't book this as a first-time match, so I'm guessing these guys have fought before. My memory not always the best at times, but my excitement level with that considered is just a little bit lower. I'm going to give my excitement level for this one at about 6, I say. I always look forward to Jey Uso's entrance for sure, but I love the Judgment Day and Damian Priest. Their entrance always phenomenal. And that should be a good one. Women's Championship, another first time. I get it. Obviously, the title defenses, you have to have a first title defense. It's just the way things go. It'll be predictable in that aspect. But Bayley taking on Naomi and Tiffany Stratton in a triple threat match. And man, oh man, has my girl Tiffany Stratton looked very, very good since being called up. I knew day one in NXT she was going to be one of the best women in all of professional wrestling, and I think she'll be that for a long, long time. She's one of the best already, however old she is, 23, 24 maybe. She's that good. I knew from day one. I picked up her rookie card. I think I've said that before. I was like, I'm getting an autographed rookie. Wow, this is cheap. I bet they're selling like crazy. Now, I'm going to hold on to mine, though. I'm going to hold on. I think I might even have 2 of them. I'm going to hold on to them, though. Maybe we'll see. One day she might become the women's champion. I do not think that it will be in this one. Another one of those deals. Bayley will retain. I think my excitement level for this one, I love Tiffany Stratton very much. I love triple threat matches very much as well. I can't say I'm more excited about it than the Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles match. So All right, you know what? I'll say my excitement level for AJ and Cody's at about 8. My excitement level for this one, I'll say, is at a 7. And the question here, I think, is who eats the pin, and I think it's Naomi. I don't think they want to have Tiffany Stratton, although she did lose already. So maybe she takes the pin, but I think they want to protect her, make her look strong coming out of this. So I do think that Naomi will take the pin in this one. Moving on. Women's Tag Team Championship. I think this will be the one and only title that changes hands at Backlash. Kabuki Warriors versus Bianca Belair. And the storm is coming. The storm's here, baby. How good has Jade Cargill looked so far in WWE? I think they take those tag team titles off of the Kabuki Warriors. Now, I mean, who are they going to go against? So, I mean, I think Kabuki Warriors probably get a rematch. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill retaining that. Maybe by that point in time, they would have possibly built up some other women's tag teams, but I don't know. We'll see. I just don't think anything's really working with Candice LeRae and her partner. I don't know. It's just women's tag teams not real fantastic. These are clearly by far your two best. And how do you guys feel about them booking Jade in a tag team? I think it's pretty smart. Especially if they do that for a long time and then have them end up turning on each other. They could go on a long title reign, have those belts for close to a year, and then we see some dissension, and maybe we see them lose the tag team titles. Maybe Jade blames it on Bianca, turn Jade into a heel. She's more of a true natural heel than again, or how would Bianca, we never seen her as a heel, have we? I don't believe so. How does a heel Bianca Belair look? I don't know if I'd buy it. I think the safe route would be to turn Jade into the heel at some point. And like I said, have her blame it on Bianca, them losing the titles, and then have Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill at next year's WrestleMania. I know I'm just supposed to be giving my Backlash predictions, but I'm giving long-term predictions as well. In 2 years from now, I'm going to say Rhea Ripley, and I've said it before, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill takes the women's title off of Rhea Ripley. I think if she doesn't get hurt, I think that she would have held that title all the way until next year's WrestleMania, and maybe one more after that. Like I said, maybe lose it against Jade. Maybe that was the match, and maybe they still will do that at next year's WrestleMania. But I think maybe the breakup, I think they'll go on a long reign with it, but they could break them up and do a match, Bianca and Jade at SummerSlam. But for me, I'm gonna drag this out as long as I possibly can with those two being champs. But again, that might depend on, if they don't have any competition, maybe they're champs for even longer. We shall see. Becky Lynch, she's not defending this title, huh? He didn't have a title match. Talk about her a little bit. What do you guys think so far about Becky Lynch? She won it in the Battle Royal. Seen Liv Morgan come out. Liv Morgan's still kind of playing the baby face, though, a little bit. I would have liked to have seen Liv win that title. I said it on one of my short videos, though. I think that was a safe, smart move, making it be Becky. I would have gave it to Liv and turned her into a full heel, taking all the credit, for taking out Mommy, and the crowd hating that because they love Mommy so much, and, she's the reason why. So I think that, to me, I would have liked that a little bit better, but I totally understand why they gave it to Becky Lynch. And then we got the Bloodline, the new Bloodline. Not calling them that yet, but I think at some point they will. When Roman comes back, I think they'll team with the Usos and take on this new Bloodline, possibly at SummerSlam, I think, maybe. New Bloodline versus the old Bloodline. But Solo Sikoa Tama Tonga taking on Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. I guess I didn't give my excitement level for the women's tag match. I don't know. I love Jade so much that my excitement level for that's at about a 7. Bailey, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton match, I think I said about a 6. But this Bloodline match, I'm very excited about. I would say, besides, I'm not even more excited about it than I am Cody and AJ, just because I want to see what happens. I think the Bloodline takes it, and I think we see the debut of Jacob Fatu. I think he'll be the newest member of the Bloodline. I think he helped Solo and Tama win this matchup. And then what kind of turmoil does that cause? You know, with Solo calling all the shots and Paul Heyman kind of allowing it to happen, but at the same time, not real happy about it, you know, saying he's going against the tribal chief's orders. Just, man, the story of the Bloodline continues. Just wrinkle after wrinkle after wrinkle. I think it's pretty phenomenal. I'm into this new Bloodline. I think Solo has come a very long way in a very short period of time on the mic and really looking like a leader. He looks like a leader. You know, we seen him last year get kind of built up very strong, you know, talking about him being the heir to the tribal chief, and then I thought they kind of pushed him down just a little bit, wasn't looking as strong as he possibly could, but with this new Bloodline, he has been built right back up, and I'm really big. And I'm really digging it. I really am. That is the Backlash predictions, excitement levels. We're going to move on now to the top 25. Well, just a moment. I do want to take a little bit of time here to talk about AEW and Tony Khan. And I do my best to say extremely positive on these things. I try not to have the tribalism. I love pro wrestling. I try not to pit WWE and AEW against each other. But man, oh man, Tony Khan talking on the NFL Draft show, preview show, whatever it was on the NFL Network. I mean, I thought AEW was, you know, after everything was CM Punk and the tribalism, and we see Adam Copeland give a mission statement and a couple other guys, I believe, and they're, you know, talking about, you know, it's pro wrestling, love pro wrestling, just, you know, kind of basically hinting at stopping the tribalism stuff. But Tony Khan's feeding into the tribalism just as much, if not more, than most everybody else with after what he said on the NFL Network, calling WWE evil and saying that WWE is like the Barry Weinstein of wrestling. I think he said a couple of other disparaging remarks as well. I mean, what are you doing, Tony? What are you doing? I mean, man, oh man. I tell you, at first AEW came out and, you know, they started doing some of the press conferences and everything like that. And I was like, oh, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. You know, he goes out there and says some things, answers everything genuinely and honestly, and I don't know, maybe just at that time he was just kind of innocent, happy he had this new company going and was kind of treating everything, you know, and everybody with a lot of respect. I'm not saying doesn't treat people with respect, but just, I don't know, I think he's got a bit of bitterness now and taking things too personally and not focusing on what they're doing and as much as he should, and focusing too much of his attention on what other companies, especially WWE, are doing. And I think if he would just focus on his own product, his product would be a lot better than it is. I really do. As far as the Young Bucks and Jack Perry giving him the beat down the other day, Perry with the microphone to the gut, and then the Young Bucks with the flippity-doo-dah into the pile driver. I liked it. I'm intrigued by it. I want to see what happens coming out of it, if we are going to get some sort of NWO style of presentation with the Elite trying to take over. I mean, they got a lot of members now. They got the Bucks, Okada, Jack Perry. That's 4. I mean, that's basically what the NWO started with, 3, then 4. Technically 2, then 3, then 4, I guess, but you got to go in order. Yeah, I mean, if that's the route they are going to go with it, I'm into it. I just hope they don't overdo it and start bringing everybody into the Elite and, and then doing their own things and having their own refs and their own shows. Like, it got to be a little bit too much, but I think, takeover angles can work if they're done right. Do I have faith that AEW is going to do it right? No, I don't. But I'm going to give it a chance. Just like I gave the footage a chance of them choosing to air the CM Punk footage. And everybody, most people anyways, at the time, were just like, what are you doing? Why are you airing this? And I argued that side of it, and I understood that side of it. But what did I say on the shorts? I said, well, as long as they tie it into the storyline and they can use it as part of the storyline, I think it could work. And I think it did work. With the great reveal of Jack Perry coming into the ring. And I was at that show, and for a split second there, I was like, uh-oh, there's a fan in the ring. Their security's trying to get him, just for a split second. And then it was revealed that it was Jack Perry. That was some pretty good stuff. By AEW, and I am into that storyline. I think it could have been done a whole lot better. I really do, though. I didn't, if you're going to show me the smug look on Jack Perry's face, don't wait 10 seconds or however long it was before you hit Tony Khan, because you just gave it away that you were going to attack him, and then you take too much time before you actually do attack him. Same thing with the Young Bucks. They get him up, just EVP trigger him. Get them up and make it look like you're helping them up for 2-3 seconds. Just EVP trigger them. They don't need you to see you, get them up and then whatever. Then do the, I hate the flips and stuff into the pile driver, and it looks like they're trying to help and push them down. I don't know. A pile driver doesn't need all that paraz that's not the right words, but all the extra sparkles and everything with it. It's pile driver, that's all it needs. I mean, I get it, trying to innovate and go to the next level. I don't know. I don't like the flips and stuff into the pile driver. So I think it could have been executed better, but I am very interested in seeing how that storyline goes. All right, let's move on to the top 25. And as always, we're going to start with the ladies. Let's mention some honorable mentions, looking from the outside of the top 25 into the inside of it. Right on the edge there, I got Athena, Mariah May, Thea Hale, JC Jane, Sky Blue, Zoe Stark, Chris Statlander, to name a few. At number 25, she got drafted, Blair Davenport, one of just a handful of people that got drafted. And what did you guys think about the draft before getting into my top 25? I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I think the most exciting thing out of it was, even though there wasn't very many, was some of these NXT superstars getting the call up. And I don't think they knew. I don't think they told them beforehand, just with the reactions and on their faces whenever they got their name called. That did feel like it was a pretty legitimate, like it would be an NFL draft or an NBA draft. Get your name called, get the hat, wow, overcome with emotions, and you're going to be going on to the big leagues, so to speak now. So I thought that was a pretty interesting twist to the draft. However, I mean, pretty much everybody else we saw stay put, and not a whole lot. You've seen a few swaps here and there, but then they tried to play up the fact that was, a big part of the draft too, was not necessarily trying to get all these new guys, but trying to keep the talent that they had. So, and the protecting the champions thing, I didn't mind that, because it's been like in the past where, you get somebody winning a title, or somebody get drafted the other brand, and then I think it was Becky Lynch and somebody else, they had them, let's just trade titles, and here you go, you're the new Raw champ, I'm the new SmackDown champ. Like, we got away from all that now, which gets very confusing on which belt's which, but I do like it better than just having Raw and SmackDown champions. But anywho, yeah, so draft was okay. Draft was okay. Blair Davenport, number 25, one of the new call-ups. I was a little surprised on her getting called up. She's had a decent run in NXT, but nothing special, I do worry about her being somebody like a Cameron Grimes, where they called them up and never did anything with them. I worry about that with her. I worry about that with my number 24 ranked woman, Kiana James. But hopefully they'll be able to do something with those ladies, because both of them are definitely very talented. Number 23, I got Deonna Purrazzo. I think she'll probably fall out of the top 25 here before too long, unless she can somehow stay in that picture. But we saw her fight Thunder Rosa. Rosa got the best of her, if memory serves, so it looks like she's going to kind of fade out of that title picture. We'll see, though. Maybe they can make her and keep her irrelevant, and perhaps she stays in. Somebody who's jumped in the top 25, hasn't been in there very long, Tatum Paxley. Thought after that triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship, and just the way they've been building her up and her character, she's really grown on me a lot, and I'm into her. Lyra Valkyrie, also going up to the main roster. She comes in at number 21, your former NXT Women's Champion. I think she's got a little bit better of a chance than those other two women I mentioned, just because who did she beat for the NXT Women's Championship? It was Becky Lynch, so she's already got a little bit of merit to her name in coming up to the main roster. Number 20, I got Chelsea Green. I just think she's one of the more entertaining characters as far as women go in professional wrestling. Number 19, I got Julia Hart. She's fallen on rough times. I believe she had cracked into the top 10. Number 11 may have been the highest she got, but she's down to number 19 now after losing the TBS Championship to Willow. Hopefully they still have some decent stuff for her. Maybe she can climb back up the rankings, but I don't know. She could also be in danger of falling out of the top 25 if they don't do much with her. Number 18 through number 15. I know you're probably like, really? This is how you did this? Yeah, I got 18 Kairi Sane, 17 Asuka, 16 Io Sky, 15 Dakota Kai. Moving on. Damage control's good, but not good enough right now, anyways, for the top 10. I don't know. Maybe I should just start including factions as one group, or tag teams. Maybe just put them all in here, especially if I'm never going to reveal to you my tag team list. It's hard to keep up with, to be totally honest with you. Number 14, I got Thunder Rosa. Number 13, I got Willow. Mentioned them. Number 12, I got Jordan Grace. Man, I'd love to see her come to WWE. AEW definitely could use her more, because as much as that women's division has improved, I still don't think it's anywhere where it needs to be, and Jordan Grace could really help them out, but I'd rather see her in WWE. Number 11, I got your NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. She's doing a nice job. Number 10, I got Naomi for now, till she gets pinned in that triple threat match anyways. Number 9, I got Nia Jax. I know, she just took a loss, but she's still dominant. She's still very good. And she never liked her, but she had won my respect, and she's at number 9. Number 8, I got my girl, Tiffany Stratton. I already talked about her a lot, and we'll move on. Number 7, she's dropped all the way from, I think I had her at 2 or 3 to number 7, Mercedes Moné. So pumped, so hyped. Her first coming into AEW, but I didn't even realize she couldn't wrestle yet. She's not been fully cleared. I mean, she's going to fight at Double or Nothing against Willow. Maybe she'll climb back up the rankings, but I don't know. She's just not been that great on the mic after that first couple of promos. I mean, has she ever really been that extraordinary on the mic? Not really. Always adequate. How do you say that word? Adequate. She's been very adequate, but nothing spectacular. And yeah, until she does some wrestling, she's going to keep dropping on that list. Number 6, I got Bianca Belair. Number 5, I got Liv Morgan. Number 4, I got your AEW Women's World Champion, Toni Storm. And I don't talk usually about many of these ladies at the top or men at the top because, I mean, I've already talked about them before. You guys know why they're there. They're some of the best. They're some of the best in the game. I just think Toni Storm continues to do a great job with her character. When will it get stale? I don't know. I'm sure it will at some point, but so far it's not stale to me. I'm still very much into it. Number 3, I got Jade Cargill. I really would have liked to have put her at number 2. I do personally like her better than Becky Lynch or Bayley. She's my number 1 woman I'm into, but I do try to keep some sort of logic to these things. So that's why I got Becky Lynch. I don't even remember now. Women's World Champ, or I'm just going to start saying one of your women's champions, Becky Lynch, at number 2, and I got the other women's champion, Bayley, at number 1. An argument to be made. We could probably put Becky at number 1, flip-flop those around, but Bayley won hers at WrestleMania, even though Becky won hers more recently. Bayley's was more prominent. Becky's was just in a battle royal, and the only reason she's champion is because Rhea Ripley's hurt. That's my women's top 25. Men's top 25 on the outside looking in. Dom and Ray, Bronson Reed, Bobby Lashley, Christian, Orange Cassidy, Okada, The Miz, and Samoa Joe. Not in my top 25. He was in the top 10, but he lost that AEW championship, and we haven't seen him since, and he is fallen fast. At number 25, newly drafted to the main roster. I think most of them went to Raw. I think Ilya went to Raw. Maybe I'm wrong. He's at number 25. I think he's got a chance to do some decent things on the main roster. I just think with the way his character is that there's a lot of different things that they could do with him, and I'm interested to see what that might be. He could get lost in the shuffle, but I don't know. I don't think so. I think he'll do some decent stuff. Number 24, I got Andrade. Number 23, I got Braun Breaker. I'm going to go Braun Breaker 22, Sheamus 23, actually. Just because Sheamus is newly back. We haven't seen a whole ton. We've seen some decent backstages and some good in-ring with him and Drew, but I guess he did wrestle a match or two. He's not doing bad. I know they're calling burger after burger after burger. That was some pretty funny stuff. Number 21, speaking of funny, R-Truth, baby. Him and The Miz. I just think R-Truth, I got him a little bit way higher than The Miz because he's just so damn funny. Number 20, I got Kevin Owens. Number 19, you know what? No, I'm going to go Jon Moxley 20. Kevin Owens 19, Trick Williams, your NXT champion. I'm going to take him at number 18. Yeah, I know you're probably like, man, he's awful far down the list. You got Chad Gable at 17 and Carmelo Hayes at 16 above him. Why is Carmelo ahead of him? Well, Carmelo got drafted to SmackDown. I honestly thought Carmelo was already on SmackDown. We've seen him wrestle 2 or 3 matches. I thought he was already on the main roster, but they did it like he was getting called up or something. Kind of odd. And man, Chad Gable's done some fantastic work of late in transitioning to a heel. And, at first I was kind of like, why didn't Maxine and Otis and Tozawa do something about it when Gable kind of got in their face? But I get it now. They're slow burning on that story, At some point, I think they'll get fed up with Chad Gable pushing him too hard and, turn on him. Otis will attack him once Gable gets out of the storyline for the Intercontinental Championship. Don't think he's winning that. Once he gets out of that storyline, then I think it'll be him and Otis maybe in a series of matches, maybe a month or so long storyline after, once we see the full breakup of that group. Where am I at? Number 15, Adam Copeland. Probably a little high, but I'm into him. And I don't know. Did we see him on Dynamite? If he doesn't show up for another week or two, I think he'll drop real quick. Number 14, I got Logan Paul. Some pretty spectacular stuff with him and Patrick Mahomes the other night. It was kind of interesting that they were presenting Patrick Mahomes as a heel in his home city, NFL city, being in Kansas City. But what did Patrick Mahomes say? He said, I'll play the bad guy if you want me to be. Kind of like everybody. A lot of people hate Tom Brady. People sometimes get jealous of winners. So, yeah, for everybody else watching, it worked. It worked with having Patrick Mahomes be the heel. Why am I talking about Patrick Mahomes being a heel? Well, out there with Logan Paul, but, Logan's he's just fantastic. Everything he does, I don't think as long as he stays on TV, and isn't gone for months at a time, I think he will continue to stay in the top 25, and if not the top 15, possibly cracking the top 10 at some point in time. Number 13, I got Randy Orton. Number 12, I got Gunther. Number 11, I got LA Knight. And at number 10, I got CM Punk. I know, he hasn't wrestled yet, but just fantastic game of cat and mouse with him and Drew McIntyre the other night. Just a phenomenal storytelling and television. Number 9, Yeet, Jey Uso. We talked about him. Number 8, AJ Styles. Talked about him. Number 7, I got Will Ospreay. Match of the year at Dynasty in St. Louis. I was there. I've never seen a crowd come to their feet so quick after some of the stuff that he was doing in that match. Absolutely incredible. And all the different chants and the creativity of some of the chants in that match. Just, man, oh man, he's good. I think he'll be in the top 10 for a long time. And I think he's got a chance to crack the top 5. I don't know. I'm not really interested in seeing him go after a mid-title against Roderick Strong, though, for the, the Continental Championship, International Championship. AEW's got so many titles. I lose track. At number 6, I do have your AEW champion. Whose house? Swerve's house. Swerve, number 6. Number 5, Sami Zayn. Number 4, I got Solo Sikoa. And number 3, the new member of the new bloodline. He's got to be close to top 5. Number 3, I got Drew McIntyre. Number 2, I got your 2 champs at 2-1. Damian Priest, World Heavyweight Champion, and Cody Rhodes. Been number 1 for quite a long time with Roman out. Universal Champion, still number 1. Thank you for joining me here on this edition of the Top Rope Podcast. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, like, follow, and subscribe. Oh, my eyes weren't looking a little too crazy there. My eyes are messing with me here. Late at night as of this recording, but whatever time you're watching it and wherever you might be, I thank you. Yes, did you subscribe yet? I appreciate it. Until next time, friends, for me, Gary Martin, and the Top Rope Podcast, God bless.